welcome
to Sort of the Story.
I'm Janey.
And I'm Max.
And this is the podcast where we tell each other stories like fairy tales, folktales, and mythology.
And also, you are here.
Oh my god, guys, welcome!
Feels like it's been like 1,000 years.
It really has, because we accidentally keep forgetting to record. Whoops!
Oopsies.
It has been a while for us. Guys, we missed you. What's going on? You having a good couple weeks?
Yeah.
Us too. Anyway, Max, what's up?
Not much. It's springtime now, which is really great.
Yes.
Because it's like there's sunshine.
Oh, it's beautiful.
And it doesn't get dark before I leave work, and it's very nice. The downside is that allergies.
However.
Yeah. So if you could probably tell my voice is a little bit fucked up. I feel bad and gross from being outside.
Today, Max and I went to the punk flea market, and she kept looking down and going, nope, and then putting her head all the way back up, because every time you look down, your head would just like roll forward, like all your sinuses would just like flop to the front.
Yeah, I was actually really cool and aloof at the Southeast Pumpkin Flea Market because
looking down her nose at everyone.
Yeah, every time I would look down at something on one of the tables, it would be like, oh god, it's happening. My nose is about to drip onto this person's stuff, and I was like, oh no. So I would just like walk around with my head held very high, inspecting the ceiling.
She looks really snooty right now.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I got a cool Wolfman ring. It's giant and gaudy.
I love it. It's like a biker ring.
It really does. It looks like a biker ring, but it's Wolfman. He's wearing a crown. He has red eyes.
He's very cool.
I don't buy things unless I have like a very specific excited feeling. Mm-hmm. It's a very specific feeling of looking at a trinket and being like, that's for me.
Yeah.
That's this guy.
Yeah. I was there. It was magical.
Yeah.
You beelined right over to him and you were like, that's him.
Yeah,
there he is.
Anyway, I posted a picture of him on the Discord. So if you're not part of our Discord, you should be, so you can see my cool Wolfman ring. Possibly my cool Wolfman boyfriend ring. Who knows? He might be magical. I'm going to rub him later tonight.
You need to tell us about that?
Do you want to tell everybody how to get on the Discord?
Absolutely. So if you want to join us on the Discord, which is just like a fun platform area where we all hang out and talk about stuff and share dumb shit.
And important shit.
You can by joining us on Patreon at the $3 per month tier. For $3 a month, you get access to the Discord, which also has a bunch of like little secret fun things in it. And it's very cool and fun.
Yeah, that's where it's at, guys.
Yeah. Or for $7 a month, you can get access to the Discord. Plus, you also get a full-length bonus episode every month.
And that's where it's at, guys.
And that's where it's at, guys.
You also get the Discord, so you're at it twice, guys.
Yeah. Where it's at is where you are when you spend $7.
When you're here, you're where it's at.
When you're here, you're gay.
When you're gay, you're at. At you're gay.
I'm gay at Olive Garden.
Family. Oh my god. Here's the problem. It's 9:00 on a school night. We have to actually just jump right into it. Episode 154, Max.
Yes.
You're going first.
I am.
Are you so excited?
I am so excited.
I'm so excited too.
Wow.
Okay.
Look at us.
Guys, I'm going to pause it for just a second and we're going to come right back after this message of silence.
Okay, Janey.
Okay, Max.
Ooh.
Oh, you didn't like it?
No, I didn't like that. It was weirdly guttural. I got lazy. I took a nap, and then I still had to write my notes for the story, and it is, as we mentioned, a school night. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna go for some low-hanging fruit, a little easy guy that I know is gonna be a winner. So today I'm telling the story of Jack and the Beanstalk.
Exciting.
Yes.
A classic.
A classic. I didn't realize how classic until I started researching it.
Okay.
The story of Jack and the Beanstalk is a Proto-Indo-European story that originated over 5,000 years ago.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's
really classic.
That's weirdly humbling.
Yeah, I know, right? It's crazy.
Okay.
The Jack and the Beanstalk story, a lot of people know it, have encountered it in some form or another. It's been played off of in a bunch of different kinds of media and everything like that. There are two kind of ruling versions of the story. The one version of the story that I think is most commonly shared is the Joseph Jacobs version, I believe, which is basically like Jack gets beans.
Yeah,
steals stuff from
beans, and everybody thinks he's being tricked.
Yeah, and then he goes up and steals stuff from a giant.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell a slightly different moralized version of the story that appears in Andrew Lang's The Red Fairy book.
Okay.
So this is a slightly different twist on the story that people have a lot of opinions about, like, you know, which one is more accurate to the original lore. It's the Joseph Jacobs one. But I really like the Andrew Lang one because I have not heard this version of the story before. It closes a lot of the, like, sort of logical loopholes in the original story and everything. And I wanted to tell a story that you guys maybe haven't heard before. So
Exciting.
like I said, this story originated over 5,000 years ago. Proto-Indo-European story, one of the like very, very old tale types. In the Arns-Thompson-Uther Index, it's type 328, the boy who stole ogre's treasure.
Okay.
We've seen a couple of different iterations of this. There's one 13th that I don't know that we've done on the podcast, but like there are a bunch of stories that kind of follow this thread. This is one of a category of English tales that are called Jack tales. Yeah. There are a bunch of stories in the English, like, fairy tale canon about, like, a boy named Jack. Yeah. And I'm going to link to an article that talks a little bit about, like, the messages behind Jack and the Beanstalk and everything like that. But it also talks about, like, the mythical figure of Jack, who is specifically a boy. He is oftentimes, like, a little bit careless, but, like, good-hearted, and above all else, he is lucky. That is the figure of Jack.
That describes a lot of the boys I know.
Yeah.
Careless, good-hearted, lucky.
Really lucky. Because they get to know you.
Yeah, that's why.
They all have one thing in common. There are also a lot of parallels between this story and, like, British imperialism, which I'll talk a little bit more about at the end. But the classic line from Jack and the Beanstalk, do you know?
Fee, fi, fo, fum.
There you go.
I smell the blood of an Englishman.
Yes.
Which doesn't rhyme.
No, it doesn't. It does not. The version in this story rhymes, which is good. But also, fee, fi, fo, fum is thought to be, like, an anglicization of an ancient Gaelic phrase, which is fee, fi, fo, fum, basically, which is food, good to eat, sufficient for my hunger.
I like it. I thought you were saying, which is fee.
Fee.
I was like, wow.
Fee.
You know, it's a little repetitive. I know why they changed it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool.
But it comes from ancient Gaelic, which I think is really cool. Hypothetically. We don't know that that's the actual root, but it would be a weird coincidence if it wasn't, because that's a weird string of sounds to put together. Yeah. So, anyways, with that, Jack and the Beanstalk. A young boy, Jack, lived in a small, homely cottage with his mother. He was not quite old enough to have a job, debatably.
I was going to say in ancient Europe, what was not old
like
enough?
Like medieval England, I guess, is
they
what
were
we're
sending
thinking.
2-year-olds into the mines.
Just for fun. But Jack was not old enough to have a job. His mom, usually she had a spinning wheel, she had their milk cow, and a small garden plot outside of their cottage. There was a very, very hard winter, and they lost most of the garden. Their milk cow stopped producing, and she developed, like, a chronic, like, fever disease that meant that she was, like, always sore. So it was really hard for her to use her spinning wheel.
Oh.
And Jack...
Arthritis?
Maybe.
That's what it sounds like, right?
Could be.
Yeah.
Jack, again, doesn't have a job. And they are coming to the end of their food stores. Spring is coming, like, everything is thawing, but they are not going to make it much longer. So Jack's mother makes the difficult decision to sell the milk cow, who no longer produces milk, off at the market. She tells Jack to bring the cow to the market because she is too weak to go herself. Plot hole closed.
Why they would send her?
Why they would send, like, a little boy to go. Yeah.
Why she would send him. Oh my gosh.
So Jack takes their milk cow, Milky White. Sure. Off to the market. And he's very excited. This is a lot of responsibility for him, and he's thrilled. He is on the way to the market when he meets a man on the road holding a handful of beans. Beautiful beans. And he says, "Hello, sir, those are beautiful beans." And the man says, "Well, they're not just beautiful, they're also very magical. They have a great value." And Jack is like, "A great value, you say?"
There's some high value beans. Listen, if I know one thing about this beanbag,
Listen, these are limited edition, highly collectible beans. You don't actually get the beans, but you actually... I can give you a picture of the beans that is actually worth more than the beans.
Wow.
And then you'll have that value that you can kind of keep in like a digital wallet and sell off as like the market changes, make a huge amount of money. Again, you won't own the beans. You will just own the idea of the beans.
Yeah, these are a couple of NF beans.
NF beans. So this guy is like, yeah, these are fantastic beans.
Yeah.
And Jack is like, wow, what does a guy have to do to get some good beans like those?
Who's a guy gotta fuck to get some beans like that? And he's like, whoa, Jesus, Jack.
Good God, Jack.
What the hell? No one.
I've known you for your whole life. Why are you acting this way?
You're 5 years old. You get one job to go to the market and suddenly you're super inappropriate.
And the man who is the butcher is like, well, I'll give you these beans for your cow. Don't love the detail that he's the butcher. I know that makes sense. And I know that that's something that like probably in other stories is implied that like he goes to sell the cow for meat because she can't produce milk anymore.
That is what's implied. And I've always been like, okay. But yeah, I've never heard it. This guy's the butcher because why would the butcher have magic beans? That's weird. I assumed it was just some like magical fairy guy.
Yeah. No, it's the butcher.
No, just some guy.
Just some guy.
All right.
And Jack is like, wow, all of those great beans for just my cow? You got yourself a deal.
He didn't even tell him what the beans do.
No, he's just like, listen, these are mysterious, magical, really good beans. So Jack hands over the reins to Milky White, and the man gives him his handful of warm beans. And Jack returns back home. His mom meets him at the door and is like, oh, thank God, we're so low on food. I was worried that you weren't going to be able to sell her today, but I see that she's not with you. So how much did you get for her? 5 pounds? 10 pounds? That would be crazy. 15 pounds? No. 20 pounds?
Oh my God, Mom, stop. Are we rich now? Milky White's a princess?
And Jack's like, I got something even better. Beans. And his mom is like, beans? What's that? Is that like a cool new street phrase for like gold bullion or something? And he's like, no, it's beans. And he shows her his handful of beans. And she sighs very, very heavily. And then she's like, Jack, those are just beans. And he's like, no, they're very valuable beans.
I value beans.
Listen, you don't think I would go out and trade our cow for just some regular beans. These are primo beans. These are some grade A USDA certified Kobe beans.
Kobe beans.
And she's like, okay, well, we don't have our cow. We have nothing else that we can sell. We have no food, or we have like a meal and a half worth of food left.
Plus some beans.
And now we have some beans. So that's really exciting. And he's like, oh, maybe I didn't do this right. And she's like, no, you didn't do this right. That was a bad trade, Jack. We're going to starve.
Screwed us.
And he's like, oh, no. And she's like, yeah. So they both go inside and they have a small and meager dinner. And they both cry themselves to sleep. The next morning, Jack wakes up. His mom, I guess, probably stays in bed for the whole day, just very quietly. Like, oh God, this is the end. Jack gets up, though, and he walks outside, and he takes his handful of beans, which he has acquired, and he's like, well, my mom says these are just regular beans. She says they're Scarlet Runner beans, which is just regular beans. But I bet these are valuable beans. And you know what you do with valuable beans? You plant them.
They're so lucky they didn't decide to eat them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That could, anyway, I shouldn't think about it too much, but like, in every story, it's like the mom gets angry and throws them outside. And I'm like, good, because she could have eaten them because they're starving.
Yeah. I do like this also, though, because it's like, okay, they do have a garden plot that's already set up for beans. It's just it's been a hard winter and the beans are all dead. But, like, they know how to cultivate beans.
Yeah.
So he has these beans and he's like, I will plant them. We will have more food later.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
It does.
Plot hole. Closed.
Yeah.
I have a lot of questions about Jack and the Beanstalk that this story answered. Jack and his mom spend the day in the house. She makes a tiny dinner with what remains of their food, and they both eat it quietly, knowing that tomorrow there will be no food. And then they go to bed. The next morning, Jack wakes up, and he runs outside to the garden, and he sees that not only have his very valuable beans sprouted, but they have grown unbelievably. These, like, long runner beans have completely overgrown this little garden patch, and they have gone out and up. There's a cliff that looks over the cottage and, like, protects it from the wind and everything like that. These runner beans have climbed all the way up the cliff and keep going so far that he can't even see the top of them. That's another plot hole closed. Because beans are vining. They don't grow in, like, a stalk that goes straight up and supports itself upright.
Yeah.
So I've always been like, it just grows straight up into the air. All right. It's not how beans work, guys. But it's like climbing a cliff, so it's cool.
Did they make up the term beanstalk then? There's no stalk?
Not that I know of.
So they made up the term beanstalk. Ancient fools.
Those ancient fools. I might also not know as much about beans as I think I do, but I've never seen any.
You're presenting yourself as some sort of a bean expert.
No, a beanstalk is it's like a stick that they put in the ground that the beans grow up. It's like a support, I think.
Oh, maybe the magic was in the stalk.
But there was no stalk.
Yeah, that's the magic.
Okay. I guess. Sure.
The beans themselves, not that magical. The stalk.
It's all about the stalk.
It's all about the stalk, baby.
People talk a lot about the beans, but what I'm about is the stalk.
Ew. People need to stop talking as much about the beans.
Yeah, stop.
Nobody
Stop
wants that.
being weird about the beans. But these bean vines climb up the cliff face and they make this, like, intricate, like, ladder-like structure that goes all the way up the cliff. And he looks at them and he, like, tests them close to the ground, and they're incredibly sturdy. And he's like, this is so sturdy. And it almost looks like a ladder. I feel like I could climb this. But he's recently gotten into a lot of trouble with his mom for doing something without talking to her first. So he goes inside and he's like, Mom, I have an idea. What if I climb up this beanstalk? And she's like, Jack, don't do that. You're going to break your neck. And he's like, no. And she's like, well, you're going to get hurt. Like, you don't know what's up there. You shouldn't do that. And he's like, okay, but we have no food and maybe there's food at the top of the beanstalk. And she's like, you make a fair point. Okay. Make sure you have 3 points of contact on the beanstalk at all times. You know, your ladder safety. So Jack goes out and he begins to climb the beanstalk. He climbs so high that he can barely even see the cottage below, and he still cannot see the top of the beans. He keeps climbing and climbing up above the clouds to the top of this massive cliff, and when he finally reaches the top, he finds a beautifully wooded countryside, forest, and like a crystal clear little stream that winds through it. All of these, like, fat, happy sheep out to pasture.
And just starts tossing them down.
Oh my god.
For my mom!
Oh no. It's horrifying. Mutton pancakes.
Yeah.
And he sees a little further away that there is a beautiful and well-appointed palace. And he's like, I didn't know that there was a palace right behind our house. That's crazy. And then he thinks about it and he's like, the beans did go really high. It's probably like several miles from us if you're counting vertically. So,
yeah,
you know, kind of makes sense that we wouldn't have heard about it. This place almost seems like a different land entirely.
Almost. He's thinking all this while shoveling sheep off the cliff. A couple of miles.
Oh, yeah. All right. So he starts to walk towards the palace, and as he does so, he sees a woman come out of the woods, and she approaches him, and he immediately takes his hat off and bows to her. This woman is very, very beautiful. She has on a quilted satin pointed cap with an ermine lining, which kind of sounds like a Santa hat. and like long, loose, flowing hair.
Yeah.
And she walks with a walking stick.
Okay.
Which is also, they describe her as being like a beautiful woman with like long, healthy hair and everything, which makes me think that she's a little bit younger, and that then she also has a walking stick, which I just think is interesting.
Oh, they didn't say that it was like dark hair though. It could be long white hair.
It could be, but I think I like the idea that they're like, maybe. He bows to her and she greets him, and he says, "My lady, is this your palace?" And she says, "No, but I can tell you the story of the palace." And he's like, "Great. I am a nosy boy and I would love to know everything."
Yeah.
So she tells him about the palace. There was once a noble knight who lived here in this castle with his wife and several children. He was a little bit older. He had had all of his adventures, and he was universally beloved. There's like a little village at the bottom of the hill below the castle, and he like really took care of all the people there. He was kind and he was generous, and everyone loved him. Including, there's all these woods around the castle, and the little folk also loved him because he was very kind to them and very respectful. So because they liked him so much, they gave him magical presents sometimes. And these were things that were like, had worth beyond compare, but which were gifts from the little people. And so he would never have like sold them or given them away or anything like that, because that would be disrespectful.
Yeah.
People talk about these gifts that he's received. Nobody's super clear on the details of what they are, but they're like, wow, that must be really cool, like gifts from the fairies. And eventually, this rumor about this fairy-given gift or gifts that the knight has makes its way nearby to a big, nasty giant. And the big, nasty giant is like, well, it would be cooler if I had those things instead of him. And also if he had nothing. And also I lived in his castle. And also he was dead.
To-do list.
Yeah. Yep. So the giant bribes one of the knight's servants to let him into the castle in the middle of the night when everyone is sleeping. And the giant goes into the castle and he murders the knight in his bed while he is sleeping. And then he goes and he murders all of his children in their beds while they are sleeping. And he looks throughout the house. He scares off all of the servants that remain there and everything. He looks and looks and looks, but he cannot find the knight's wife. And it turns out that she had spent the day, she went to go visit her childhood nurse with their youngest son. They were supposed to be gone for the day, but there was a storm that held them up, so she ended up staying with her nurse overnight. So she was not there that night. The next morning, one of the servants who saw everything that happened went to go and find her at her nurse's cottage and explained what had happened. And she was like, I don't want to be alive without my husband and my children and everything.
Yeah, except that you still have one child left.
And then her nurse is like, well, you still have a baby that you have to take care of. You can't go back because now the giant lives there and he'll kill you.
Yeah.
You can stay here. Hopefully someone will come and take care of the giant. And if not, then, you're welcome to be here as long as you want. So time passes, days, weeks, years, and eventually the old nurse passes away, leaving her little cottage and the few things that she owns in the possession of this woman and her young son. So now this woman who was like a fine lady who was married to a knight and lived in a castle, now she lives in a tiny little cottage with her little son, Jack. And a spinning wheel, and a milk cow, and a tiny plotted garden.
Oh, is it his mom's story? Oh.
Yeah.
It's so sad.
So the fairy is like, and that's the story of the castle, and it's also the story of you, Jack.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
I know. Isn't that cool?
Yeah, that it really is.
The castle was your father's, and now that you are man enough to be here, and you're curious, you're strong, you're courageous, it's time for you to take back your birthright from this giant. And Jack says, well, I fear nothing when I am doing right. She's like, it is right. It belongs to you, and you should take it back. She tells him that in order to reclaim his father's home and treasure and everything, he has to get in to the castle and get back the gifts that his father received from the fairies. The gifts that he received are a hen that lays golden eggs and a harp that plays itself. And she specifically, so this is, people talk about this as being like kind of the moralizing version of the story, where she specifically like, so all of this is already yours, so it's not theft because it belongs to you. He stole it from you. You're just taking it back, not stealing.
Yeah.
Also, the treasures are yours. They're not his.
Yes.
So don't worry about it. And it's good and fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
To be clear.
Which is the reason why it's hard to watch that scene in Black Panther.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because it doesn't belong to the museum.
It doesn't belong to the museum. And he's right. As soon as she finishes explaining this, the lady tilts her head to him and disappears. And he's like, oh my God.
Oh, wow. Where'd she go?
That was a fairy.
No.
Gee whiz.
That's good. He's like, oh my God, I was talking to a ghost.
That woman's been gone for 30 years.
He just climbs back down and he's like, I had the craziest adventure. Oh, I forgot about all these dead sheep down here.
Ooh, it's kind of gross down here. So Jack makes his way to the castle. Mm-hmm. He goes up to the huge front gate, and there's a horn hanging outside of it that you blow to let the people inside know that you're there.
Oh, unsanitary doorbell.
Yeah, agreed.
I don't like that.
I don't like it either. It's kind of gross. But he walks up and he blows the horn. Several minutes pass, and then these huge wrought iron doors open, and he sees a woman, colossal, huge woman, the biggest woman you've ever seen.
All right.
How big is she?
I don't know. How big is she?
She's got her own zip code, baby.
Wow.
This giantess. And he looks up and sees that she's wearing like a tattered fine gown that clearly is like maybe not made for her. And
hopefully underwear.
And he finally cranes his head back enough that he can see her face. And instead of two eyes, she has just one eye right in the center. Mm-hmm. So she's like a cyclops.
Like one. She's like a cyclops.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a cyclops. Jack sees this colossal woman and he's like, I have miscalculated. And he turns around and starts to run away. Mm-hmm. And this giantess stoops down and grabs him by the back of his shirt and is like, no, sorry. Probably wasn't what you were expecting, but I've been looking for a boy just like you.
Oh. And
she explains to him, she's like, I work so hard every day. I have to do chores and errands, and it's not fair. I'm a fine lady. I live in a castle. Yeah. I shouldn't have to do my own chores.
Yeah.
So I, like any other titled, landed lady, deserve a page. Mm. And you're going to be my page. Huh. And he's like, I don't want to be your page. And she's like, I don't care. You're going to do it? And she says, I'm going to bring you in. You're going to help me with things. And then the only thing is that, like, when my husband is home, we have to hide you because he will eat you. Mm. Ask me how I know that. And he's like, how do you know that? And she's like, because you're not the first page I've had.
Oh, no.
Not by a long shot.
Terrifying.
So when I say hide, you're going to hide. Clear?
Oh, she's a whole vibe.
Yep. So she brings Jack inside. And she's my husband is home, so we have to be careful. And she hides him inside of a huge standing wardrobe. It's so big that he can put his whole face in and see through the keyhole. There's like plenty of air and everything like that when she closes the door. Mm-hmm. He hears this loud thumping, and the giant approaches, and he says, fee fa, fi fo fum. Remix.
Oh.
I smell the breath of an Englishman. That's another plot hole closed for me.
Some nasty fucking breath.
Yes.
Okay.
Burn on the English.
Okay.
Let him be alive or let him be dead. I'll grind his bones to make my bread. So the giant says, I smell a human person. And his wife, the giantess, is like, honey, you're so silly. You're old and crazy. You don't know what you're talking about.
And you're losing your hair.
Yeah. So. There's no human here. That would be crazy. What you're smelling is the big old elephant steak that I made you for breakfast. And she produces like a steaming bowl full of just a massive slab of meat. And he's like, delicious elephant steak. And he tucks into it. After breakfast, the giant's like, I'm going to go for a walk. And she's like, all right, honey, have fun. And he goes out for a walk. And the giantess comes and gets Jack from inside of the wardrobe and puts him to work. And he works all day in the house for her.
Oh, wait. How could he be helpful for giants? It would take him like a full business day to make it across her fucking foyer.
Yeah, I got to imagine he's like clearing out giant cobwebs and stuff like that are too small for her to get to.
I love the idea.
He's like scampering around underneath the couch and like getting all the little socks that their giant cat has put under there.
I really like the idea that they moved into a castle, right? But all of the bugs and stuff and animals that came with them were also giants.
Yeah, that's the one plot hole that the story still has. But he helps the giantess all day until supper time. The giant comes back home and the giantess hides Jack in the wardrobe. Mm-hmm. He peeks out and he sees that the giant is just tearing into his dinner. He watches him eat a wolf and then pick his teeth with the wolf bones. He, as like a little side, he has a bunch of chickens and he just eats them 2 bites at a time. After he's finished with his food, the giant tells his wife to go and get the giant's hen that lays golden eggs. And she's like, all right, honey. And he's like, that hen lays as well as it ever did for the night. I'll tell you that much. And it's like, okay, what are you trying to prove? He's like, better even, actually. I think
more.
More, actually.
Shinier.
Yeah, so she's like, all right. So she brings the giant his hen. She plops it on the dinner table, and the giant goes, ha ha ha, lay. And the chicken lays a golden egg, and he's like, ha, 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 ha. Lay. The chicken lays another golden egg. And he's like,
guys need to be. I wish you could see Max's face when the chicken starts laying the golden eggs. It looks panicked. Wow.
Yeah. Honestly, like, I don't understand what he's doing with this. It's not explained in the story.
Just scaring the eggs out of that
chicken.
I
think it kind of just seems like he thinks it's funny. He's like, lay. So a third time he commands the hen to lay, and she lays another golden egg, and he's like, ha ha ha, good. And then he takes the hen off of the table and puts her on the floor and falls asleep. Like, all right.
So I had dinner, I had my show, and now I go night-night.
Sweetie dream. Jack, seeing the hen on the floor, sneaks out of the wardrobe. He creeps underneath of the table, and he, like, sneaks up on the hen, and he very gently picks her up, and she, like, wakes up and is like, ha! And he's like, no, it's okay, I'm gonna get you out of here. And she's like, thank you. Oh my God. And he sneaks out of the giant's castle with the hen tucked under his arm. It is now nighttime, and he runs through the woods and the pastures until he gets to the Beanstalk, and he climbs back down until he reaches his mother's house. He comes in and he tells his mother everything that he's heard about her past and about the castle, and that he, like, went in and was hired as a page, which he didn't really apply for, but whatever. And that now he has this hen that lays golden eggs. And she's like, this is amazing. This solves all of our problems forever. Also, never go up there again because you shouldn't get eaten by a giant. And he's like, understood. Absolutely. Totally won't do that again. But the two of them have, like, golden eggs, and they're able to buy food. And they are very satisfied for a long time. However, Jack gets bored, and he's like, I think I'm going to go back up. And so he waits until his mom isn't around, and then he sneaks back up the Beanstalk.
Got a little bit bold.
Sneaks back up the Beanstalk. Before he does this, though, he's no idiot. He's like, I'm going to have to go in the same way. The only way I'm getting into the castle is if the giantess lets me in, right? And, like, helps disguise me. But she already knows me, and the hen disappeared, I disappeared. 1 + 1, she's gonna be like, you stole the hen.
Yeah.
So before he goes up, he dyes his hair, gives himself a little haircut.
What?
He gets himself some new clothes that aren't like him at all. I like to imagine.
Yeah.
Stay with me here.
Okay, because I have an image in my head as well.
Yeah. Okay. Box black.
Okay.
Side bangs. All black. Silver studs. Just a goth kid.
He goes goth.
Yeah.
I imagine the exact opposite. Bleach blonde. He's Ken from Barbie. He's wearing a tight little crop top.
Oh, no.
And beach shorts.
And a magic earring.
Yeah. So, guys, pick which Jack do you like?
Yeah.
Whichever one you pick, that means that the other one is his actual form.
So Jack sneaks up the beanstalk in his disguise, and he goes to the castle and he blows the horn, and the giantess comes out and she's like, "Look at you, you little guy. I've been looking for a little guy. You're my page now." And he's like, "No.
Oh, no.
Oh, no. I'm
Also,
Australian now."
mate. How do we do?
Is it good?
Good? You like it?
She sneaks him into the castle again, and he helps her for the day. And then for dinner, she prepares for the giant a bullock. Don't know what that is. Didn't feel like Googling it.
Okay.
So
I'm guessing it's a bull.
probably.
Yeah.
The giant comes home. He says, "Fee fa fi fo fum. I smell the breath of an Englishman. Let him be alive or let him be dead. I'll grind his bones to make my bread." And she's like, "Yes, yes, I know. There's no Englishman here.
Yeah.
You're just smelling this big, delicious
There
bullock that I
is
made
an
for dinner."
Australian guy. Does that change it for you?
Good eye. It's me, John.
Sean. CHON. That's me.
John.
Sean Chimbley.
Here for the Sheilas.
You put another shrimp on the barbie.
That was Irish. That was bad Irish.
Oh, fuck. Oh, no. I gotta go.
That was my friend.
The little goth kid is running so fast.
That little goth Australian named John.
Our little goth Australian kid named John is just booging it.
Where's he going?
Serpentine.
I love goth Australian John.
He blew it immediately.
It's like I was doing too many things. I need to pick one thing. This got too complicated. It really got on top of me.
I really thought I was going to be good at accents, but turns out I'm not.
That's just here it is. Down under. It's like, that's not even an accent. What are you saying, John?
John, why?
So the giantess prepares a bullock for the giant's dinner. After dinner, she's like, "I'm gonna go up and read my book in bed. Do you need anything before I go?" And the giant says, "Yes, wife. Before you go up and read your book in bed, I need you to bring me all of my money bags so I can count them. Before I go to bed, I want a long, luxurious counting of my money." So the giantess brings him a bunch of big sacks of gold, and she's like, once this is gone, you're going to have to go sack another castle. Like, this is what's left of the knight's treasury,
Ugh.
So, and God knows you've never worked a day in your life. And he's like,
Woo.
"Woman."
Don't start, Sheila.
This kid knows what I'm talking about.
Wait a minute.
So the giant takes out all of these little sacks of gold, and he starts counting all of his gold. And finally he's like, "Just correct right down to the penny." And he scoops all of the gold back into his little sacks, and then he falls asleep at the dinner table. Like a real weird. I think he has some kind of narcolepsy, to be honest.
They just don't have a good marriage.
No, yeah. They really don't.
No.
Jack sneaks out of the wardrobe where he's been hiding, and he grabs the bags of money and sneaks out of the castle, races over to the beanstalk, climbs down, goes home. His mom is home freaking out because she's like, "Jack's been kidnapped by giants."
Yeah.
And he comes in and he's like, "No, Ma, I just went back to the giants and I stole all of their money." And she's like, "Jack, this is incredible. Our lives are forever changed. Don't do that again. Please stop doing that, Jack."
It's really stressful, Jack.
She tells him not to go in harm's way anymore. She's like, "We have enough. We have enough to live on for the rest of our lives. Don't make trouble unnecessarily." And he's like, "All right, Ma. Okay, Ma." So the next time he goes up the beanstalk, he once again changes his hair, his clothes.
Bleach blonde
He's
crop top.
got a new attitude.
Little shorts. His name is Ken.
Yeah. I think the only question here is which one he does first.
I do think he's goth Australian Chon first.
And now he's Magic Earring Ken.
Yeah, now he's Magic Earring Ken.
So he goes up the beanstalk once again in his Magic Earring Ken disguise. He goes back to the giantess in the castle, and she's like, "I've had really bad luck with boys lately. Are you a good boy or a bad boy?" And he's like, "Ma'am, I'm the goodest boy." And she's like, "Well, I have no reason not to trust you." He helps her for the day. She prepares a massive sheep for the giant's dinner. The giant comes home and he's like, there's a guy in here. And she's like, no, honey, that's a sheep.
You always say that.
You and your mans.
You and your mans.
You and your mans.
What are we
man.
going to do about youths?
After dinner, the giant asks his wife to bring him his magic harp.
Yeah,
and he's
please.
like, of all my treasures that I've stolen, I love my magic harp the best.
Really? More than the money?
More than the money, even. And he's like, especially since I don't have the money.
Yeah, it's really easy to pick a favorite now that there's only one thing left.
Yeah, and he's like, I really, I've always loved the harp best because the other things, it's like material pleasures and all of that. But you know what I am? I am a music lover at heart. Dave Matthews Band.
Crash into me.
And she's like, all right, I'll get your fucking harp, I guess. So she goes and gets a huge, beautiful harp. It is all made of gold. Even the strings are made of gold. And it is completely encrusted on the outside with jewels and inlaid with silver. And it's ornate and very beautiful. She sets it on the dinner table and she's like, all right, I'm going to go. You don't care. I'm going to go.
All right,
and he's like, bye. So the giant takes this massive harp and he says, play. And the harp starts playing a very sad little song to itself. And he's like, no, play a fun one. The giant's like, ha ha. It's very easily entertained.
We are delirious.
So the harp plays a happier song. The giant giggles to himself for a little while. And then when the song is over, he's like, all right, now play me a lullaby. And the harp plays him a lullaby and he falls asleep. Again, at the dinner table. I'm like, my heart will go on.
My harp will go on.
Oh! Hello, hello.
Hello.
I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't think I'm going to be able... I'll keep trying, but I have an episode title pitch.
Okay.
So if I say something that sounds really wooden later, it's because I think it's really funny and we should use the episode title. If I don't have an opportunity to say it, then I'm just going to say it anyways.
I just want you to know right now my current contender is Goth Australian Sean.
No one will ever know what this episode is about.
No one ever knows what any of the episodes are about.
I was like, you know what? Let me do, we've been getting a couple fewer listens per week. Let me do a classic, something that people know. And it's like,
Goth Australian Sean.
Everyone knows the story of Goth Australian Sean.
Okay, my harp will go on.
Jack sneaks out of the wardrobe and he goes out to where the harp is sitting. And he picks it up and starts to sneak away. And the harp, a narc, goes, Master! Master, I'm being stolen!
What? Oh no, that chicken was so much cooler than this harp.
I know. The giant wakes up, he sees Jack walking off with the harp, and they make eye contact, and then Jack just sprints out the door. And the whole time that he is running, he is explaining to the harp, he's like, hey, okay, no, it's not your fault. That was a reasonable and fair reaction. I'm the son of the knight who owned you before. I'm trying to rescue you, so I really wish you hadn't done that, but I don't blame you. And the harp is like, thanks for explaining.
I'm gonna play you a little tune as we run.
Benny Hill.
Yeah.
I fucking hate this song.
Oh my god. You have to be quiet.
So Jack takes the harp and he races towards the beanstalk. The giant takes a couple seconds to shake the sleep off, and then he runs after Jack. And he has much longer legs than Jack.
Yeah.
Believe it or not.
It's wild.
It'd be weird if he didn't.
He is a giant, but he's also torso.
Yeah, he's like a corgi giant. Love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
just imagine it for a minute.
Just take a second, guys. You know what? That's a gift from me to you.
Everybody's really, really weird about this giant's butt.
Okay, but it's so cute, though.
Oh, man.
Have you seen when he wiggles it?
No.
It's precious.
I am not a fan.
So the giant is just about to catch up to Jack when he like leans forward to grab Jack as he's running, and he trips over a loose stone. Absolutely fucking eats it. Just
nerd.
Really looks like a chump. Just fucking spins out. Gravel everywhere. And the few brief moments that it takes the giant to get back up and recover his bruised pride is long enough for Jack to get to the beanstalk and start climbing down. He scampers as fast as he can down the beanstalk, and he only gets a little ways before he sees the giant start to descend as well. Mm-hmm. But fortunately, Jack is very nimble.
Yeah. Jack be nimble, Jack be quick.
Yeah, and the giant has to be a lot more careful because the beans are not designed to hold him. Mm-hmm. So he has to be like much more careful about where he puts his feet and everything like that. Meanwhile, Jack is basically just like fire pole down the beanstalk. Jack reaches the ground. He runs over to his house, and he shouts for his mother to get him an axe. Mm-hmm. She, I guess, wakes up and grabs a hatchet and tosses it to him, and he catches it with one hand.
Oh, cool. And good, because it could have been bad.
Yeah. And he goes and he hacks all of the bean vines except for one, and then he tells his mom, you better watch out. And she takes a couple steps back, and he's like, all right, giant, let's do this. And then he thwacks the last of the bean vines, and he hears above the beans, like, coming away from the cliff face. Mm-hmm. And he, like, runs and, like, puts himself under a tree so that he's in a little bit of cover. Mm-hmm. And a few seconds pass, and then the giant lands on the ground, snapping his neck and killing him instantly.
Jesus Christ.
Just the giant lays dead. Mm-hmm. A wreck. Really gross. Really upsetting.
Erect.
Erect.
He's turned on by beanstalks.
Last night, we really let the beans talk. That's my episode title, bitch.
What?
You know, it's like, last night, we let the Josh Vineyards talk. Yeah, you've seen that, right?
No.
It's like, it's usually some kind of alcohol, and it's like, last night we let the Jose talk, and it's like, wow, we had such a crazy night. It was a meme for a while. Recently. I don't know what to tell you. Last night we really let the beans talk.
Okay.
Just Google it. It's hilarious, I promise. Just listen to it. I do my best. I come in here every other week, and I do my fucking best.
Just so you guys know, it's every other week for you guys. It's still basically every week for us.
Last night we let the beans talk, okay?
Oh!
Thank you. You got some kind of shit on your face.
Rude.
It's right here. Yeah, you got it.
Okay, keep going.
All right, we're almost done. So the giant falls off the cliff face to his death, completely snaps his neck. Mm-hmm. The earth shakes as he hits the ground. And Jack's mom runs to where Jack is undercover. Mm-hmm. And she's like, oh my God, you did it. You killed the giant. We can go home. And then a beautiful woman appears.
Oh.
Doesn't establish whether it's the same one or a different one.
Okay.
I feel like it has to be the same one.
It would be weird if there's just some other woman appeared.
Yeah.
Okay.
She appears and she says, wow, you really did it. Great work. Well done. You murdered the giant. That's what you had to do. And now all your stuff is going to be yours again. Mm-hmm. But before we get to that part, I need you to bury this giant.
How?
And then...
Have you ever buried the moon?
No, you haven't. You know how I know? Because I would have seen it.
Just saying.
I would have fucking noticed.
That's like a big task.
Yeah.
Big task for a big boy.
So she says, you're going to have to bury this giant, give him his Christian rights and everything. This is still an English story.
Sure.
And we're going to have to go, road trip, kill the giantess. And Jack is like, no, it wouldn't be noble. I could never strike someone down except in battle. And the giantess was always kind to me. And the woman is like, that's really sweet of you to say. You know what? You are a really good kid. We're going to do it, though. So, and Jack's like, okay.
Oh, my God.
So
Jesus.
the fairy summons up her magical chariot, which is driven by 2 peacocks.
Okay.
And then she and Jack fly in their magic chariot up the cliff to where the palace is. But she takes him like a kind of a roundabout way, and they pass by the village that is underneath of the castle, right? Mm-hmm. As they arrive, they see all of these men who are all, you know, half-starved, grumpy, tired. Yeah. They've been worked half to death by this, like, tyrannical giant who lives up on the mountain. He takes everything from them, and they're all just outside grumbling about how much they hate that giant. And the fairy's like, well, really good news, guys. The giant, dead. This kid, Jack, the knight's son. Let's go get that fucking castle back. And all of the guys are like, yeah! And so this, like, horde of men escort the fairy and Jack back up to the castle. Mm-hmm. This mob arrives outside of the gate, and Jack once again blows the horn at the gate. Mm-hmm. The giantess, her husband has been gone for a little while. She fears the worst. Mm-hmm. So she's hiding up in one of the turrets of the castle and looking out of one of the windows. Mm-hmm. She sees this, like, mob approaching the castle and everything. And she hears Jack blow the horn. And he's like, giantess, come out. We just want to talk. And terrified, she starts to run down the stairs of the turret. Mm-hmm. And her foot catches in her dress.
Oh, my God.
And she trips and falls all the way down. Also breaks her neck.
Oh, she died funny.
Yeah, really unfortunate. Jack and all the men, not receiving an answer at the door, go in and they look around. They're like, I guess she left. And then as they're about to leave, they see her crumpled at the bottom of the stairs. And they're like, oh, that's what happened.
Convenient.
Wow. And Jack's still a good guy. He didn't do nothing wrong.
Didn't have to murder a lady.
Yeah. Jack reclaims his castle. His mom comes up and joins him. Mm-hmm. They move back in. He re-enfranchises the men of the village and everything. And the fairy's like, well done, Jack. You really did it. Great work. Just to kind of tie up some loose ends here, I sent the butcher to you because it was a test. Yeah. Because I was like, is this boy as noble as his father was? Does he deserve this castle? And so I told the butcher to sell you those beans. And then if you planted the beans and you saw the beanstalk and you were like, weird, and then didn't do anything about it, then I wasn't going to help you anymore. Like, I was going to bring the cow back to you guys because it seemed kind of mean not to. But, like, I would be like, that kid's stupid. I can't help him.
Yeah, not brave, not curious.
Yeah. And so she says, but because you showed curiosity, courage, and an enterprising nature by climbing the beanstalk and going to reclaim your birthright, you have earned my help and my blessing. Welcome home. Also, when you went for it, you made that beanstalk into the ladder of fortune.
Okay.
Great job, Jack. The end.
I like that. Mm-hmm. That did settle all the questions that I have about Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah. It really ties everything up nicely in a way that I like a lot.
Yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah, because a couple weird things about this. I think it's weird that there are only 2 fairy gifts. That seems weird to me. It's just the hen and the harp, and then just some money that he found.
I also thought that was weird. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's hen, harp, and then money.
Just bags of money.
Yeah,
he just did fraud. Yeah. But this story has a lot of themes of, like, imperialism, specifically like how it relates to British imperialism, because a lot of these stories that we have this recorded in are by, like, English authors and writers and everything. Mm-hmm. The kind of 2 versions of the story we have are, like, Jack as kind of an opportunist, where nobody set this up for him. It wasn't his birthright or anything like that. He just went up a beanstalk and robbed a giant and then murdered him. Yeah. And then there's this version where it's kind of like, oh, but he was right all along and he never did nothing wrong and Jack's the good boy, which is kind of like the 2 different ways to think about it. But I also think it's indicative of, like, the difference in ideology over time, where this, like, newer moralized version came, like, towards the middle end of the British Empire, where it was like, maybe you shouldn't just go places and steal things from people unless
they stole from you first.
It is by divine providence. Yeah. But I think it's really interesting. I'm going to link to an article where someone broke down a lot of the themes in the story. I thought it was very interesting. But that's Jack and the Beanstalk.
I loved it. That's my favorite version of Jack and the Beanstalk.
Yeah, I had a really good time. I love that they had a little remix on the classic too. They were like FIFA, FIFA.
It's a FIFA anthem.
Yeah.
Francis is here standing on his hind legs and staring at me with such fucking anxiety. Like, why are you still sitting? Why are you still doing this?
What are you doing?
So what I'm saying is maybe we should take a little break.
Yeah, let's do that. Okay.
All right. Guys, we will be back very soon. Bye. Okay, Max.
Okay, Janey.
Max, okay. So full disclosure, it was too late. We ended after Max's story, and now it's the next day. And I feel more awake. You?
The same, but that's okay.
It's only 8:16 p.m. today.
Oh my goodness.
On a school night.
A school night, and I'm so tired.
Oh, no, she's the one tired. Well, that's okay. I got a very exciting story to tell you today.
Oh, it's fine. I'm just tired for the rest of my life. So.
Yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm excited.
Thank you.
Hi. And I'm Max.
May I begin?
What's your story?
You're waiting to interrupt me. I see you.
I'm really excited about it.
Okay.
I'm excited to find out.
Max.
Would you please tell me what your story is?
Oh my God. Wait, hold on. We watched Cabin in the Woods the other day with somebody that has never seen Cabin in the Woods. And, like, if you haven't seen it, it's the best movie ever. It's fucking phenomenal. Max was a little drunk. And when Max is drunk, she gets so cheerful and so chatty. And the whole time we were watching it, I kept having to be like, oh my God, Max. She kept, before everything happened, ooh. I love that movie. I love this. She would like look, she would gasp like seconds before something exciting would happen. I'm like, oh my God, Max, you have to stop. She was just so full of joy watching a good movie with someone who's never seen it before. How exciting. Ah?
Do you love this?
Something's gonna happen. It's like, oh my God.
I drank 2 bottles of champagne.
You came home so drunk and you were like, yeah.
Let's watch Cabin in the Woods.
I love this. Anyway, it just made
Should we start a fire?
There was already a fire.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway, that's Max. Very cheerful, very chatty. We needed to watch something much less serious.
The movie's not serious.
That movie's so serious. Seriously. Good.
Seriously silly.
It's seriously silly. Okay. The story I'm going to tell you today is called Jamie Freel and the Young Lady.
Jamie Freel?
Yeah, Jamie Freel.
And the Young Lady.
A nautical tale. This is why
I've heard of this.
Yes. You might have, because this is by our boy, William Butler Yeats. So it's from Ireland.
WB.
WB. I looked online for folk tales because I was at work and didn't have my books with me.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And what I came up on was, you know, the pits.edu site?
Pittsburgh? Yeah.
Yeah, it was called pits.edu. It's like the site. I didn't just make that up. I go to a different website for armpits. Anyway, they have like a huge, extensive collection of fairy tales and folk tales. Mm-hmm. And this one was in a section called Abducted by Aliens. And I was like, oh, tell me more. And I clicked on it and it was like, just kidding, it's fairies. And I was like, oh, those aren't aliens. They live here. They're from here. It felt rude.
Yeah, it is rude.
Okay, anyway, so this is an Abducted by Aliens story. Except it's not aliens, it's fairies.
Jamie Freel. I swear to God,
Jamie Freel. Well, let's hear the story. Maybe you've just read this before.
Maybe I have.
Okay.
I got a little itch in my brain about it.
Oh, I'm going to scratch it.
Ooh, baby.
Here comes my story finger.
Get to scratching. Get in my brain with that story finger.
Open wide.
Oh, God. All right. I don't know why that part upset me.
Down in Thanet, Ireland, there lived a young man named Jamie Freel.
Attorney at law.
Attorney at law. Jamie lived with his mother. He was an incredible son. He worked hard every day to support his mother, and he brought his wages back to her every single night. And she would take them and, like, save them for them and spend them wisely in their household. So it really was, like, she was in charge of the money. He made the money, but, like, she took care of both of them. So it was, like, a good partnership. And she would give him a halfpence back for tobacco. And he'd be like, thank you, Mama. I love tobacco.
Thanks for my smokies, Mama.
Thank you, Mama. I love my smoke. They're not related. Does that make this
no.
weirder?
Oh, no.
No, this is his real mom. Don't make it gross.
As far as we know.
His neighbors all praised him for being the best son anyone had ever known or ever heard of. Quote, but he had neighbors of whose opinion he was ignorant. Neighbors who lived pretty close to him, whom he had never seen, who are indeed rarely seen by mortals, except on May Eves and Halloween. End quote.
What weirdos.
Aliens. A couple of ETs out there. They'll come out on Halloween. About a quarter of a mile away from him sat an old ruined castle, and it was well known that the wee folk lived inside. Every Halloween, the ancient windows lighted up, and passers-by could see little figures running to and fro inside the building, like past the window, just going absolutely buck wild. And they heard music of pipes and flutes and like all this like merriment inside. And everyone knew fairy parties were taking place in there, but nobody had ever had the courage to check it out for themselves. And Jamie had also grown up watching the little figures inside the castle windows from a distance his whole life, and he had listened to the music, and he had wondered what it was like inside. And finally, one Halloween came, and he was like, I'm gonna check it out. I gotta know. So he put on his cap, and he told his mom, I'm away to seek my fortune. And his mom was like, you idiot. That's an idiot move. That's what idiots say.
I'm just gonna have to correct you there. What she said was, you Egypt.
You Egypt. That's exactly what she said. She said, they'll kill you, and then what'll come of me?
So true.
Say it in an Irish accent. They'll kill you, and then what'll come of me?
They'll kill you,
Yeah.
and then what'll come of me?
Okay, that got...
And then what will come of me?
Okay, Mickey Mouse is yelling at me. They'll kill you, they will! Run!
It's kind of an Irish Mickey Mouse that you did.
We did
you
it.
Could have nailed that one.
Mickey is an Irish name. Stands for Mickle.
Nope.
Okay, so he told her not to be afraid. He's like, Mama, I'll be fine. And also, no, I'm not going to be fine. If I don't go, they'll
This
find
is
me.
not going well.
He told her not to be afraid and that he'd be fine. And he was also like, also, I'm going, so goodbye.
Mm-hmm.
And then he left. He set out, crossing the potato field and walking until he came to the castle. It feels racist to say potato field in an Irish story, but there just is a potato field there. I didn't make that up.
I mean, I guess. just
It could be whatever
it feels like
field they
you
want
shouldn't
it to be.
say it.
I'm sorry. I'll change it.
Mm-hmm.
That's insensitive. He set out, crossing the whiskey field and walking until he came to the castle.
Oh, no.
It's okay. My mom's, I think, Irish.
You think?
I don't know. The windows were all lit up, and the light was so bright that it seemed to turn the leaves on the crab trees into gold.
Mm.
But they weren't gold. They
were
were still
trees?
crabs.
Oh. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
Oh, I would have crab legs for dinner every night if crabs grow on trees.
I think they'd freak me out. He paused in the grove just outside of the ruin and listened to the revelry, and the music and the laughter and the celebrations going on inside made him only more determined to go inside. He's like, I gotta do this. I gotta be courageous. As he walked in, he saw all sorts of little people. Quote, the largest about the size of a child of 5 years old, and the smallest being super teeny tiny. They were all dancing to flutes and fiddles, feasting and drinking and just having a great time. And when they saw him, they all started crying, welcome, Jamie Freel! Welcome! Welcome, Jamie! And as he walked further, the word welcome was caught up and repeated by every voice in the castle. They're all just like, welcome! Yay! It's Jamie! Welcome! Jamie Freel's here! Did you see Jamie's here? Welcome! They're all really pumped to see him. Time passed really quickly, and Jamie was having the time of his life. And soon, his little hosts told him, we're going to ride to Dublin tonight to steal a young lady. Will you come too, Jamie Freel? Will you come? We're going to steal a lady. A young one. Welcome. And he's like, well, these guys are awesome. So Jamie, thirsting for adventure, immediately was like, absolutely, let's go steal a young lady.
Ladies' night. Wait.
Ladies drink for free when we steal them. There were a bunch of horses at the door, and Jamie mounted one, and as soon as he was on, the horse started to rise into the air. He passed over his mother's house, surrounded by the elfin troop, and then just kept flying. Quote, on and on they went, over bold mountains, over little hills, over the deep Loch Swilly, over towns and cottages, when people were burning nuts and eating apples and keeping merry Halloween. End quote. We don't burn nuts anymore. Bring back burning nuts.
Burn these nuts.
Burn these nuts. Welcome.
Welcome.
Jamie,
You're welcome to burn these nuts.
You're welcome to burn these nuts. Jamie had the feeling that they were flying over all of Ireland before making it to Dublin. He's like, I think we're just going in circles at some point. The fairies flew him over a cathedral spire, and they said, "This is Derry." Derry.
Oh.
And those are the Derry girls. And 50 little boys.
Motherfucker.
Hey, motherfucker. That's what I say now. So they're like, "This is Derry." And then 50 little voices rang out with, "Derry! Derry! It's Derry! Jamie, it's Derry!" And he's like, I heard, yeah.
Ah, Michelle.
Mommy.
Ah, mommy.
Guys, we're not doing it justice. Go watch Derry Girls. They did this for every town they passed over until finally he heard their voices cry out, "Dublin! Dublin! Dublin! Jamie, it's Dublin! Welcome to Dublin, Jamie!" They flew to one of the finest houses in Stephen's Green and dismounted near one of the windows. And inside, Jamie saw a beautiful face lying on a gorgeous bed. He watched as the young lady in the bed was lifted into the air and carried away out the window. And a stick was dropped in her place on the bed, and it immediately took her exact form.
Oh.
The lady, still sleeping, was placed before one rider and carried a short distance and then given to another, and then carried a short distance, and then given to another. And as they did this, they called out the names of all the towns they passed again. I'm assuming for Jamie.
Yeah.
Jamie, remember Derry? It's Derry still, Jamie.
Jams.
No. I just said the word no. But you know who I was doing.
Yeah.
I was doing Claire.
You were doing Claire.
No. They were approaching Jamie's hometown again, and when they got close to his house, he called out, "You've all had your turn at carrying the young lady. Why wouldn't I get her for a wee piece?" Wee piece.
He doesn't get her.
And the little people...
I don't like the vibes on that.
And the little people said, "Okay, you can take your turn at..." They said, "Okay, you can take your turn at carrying her, Jamie. Give her to Jamie. It's Jamie." And they passed him the pretty lady, and he held on really tightly. And as soon as they passed over his mother's house, he just threw them off the horse, just tumbled down.
Murder-suicide?
And he ran to the door. And the little people were outraged. They cried, "Jamie Freel! Jamie Freel, is that the way you treat us? Jamie, we welcomed you." They dropped down off their horses and they ran after him on their short little legs. As he ran, the little people turned the pretty lady into all sorts of shapes to try to get him to drop her. Quote, "At one moment she was a black dog, barking and trying to bite. At another, a glowing bar of iron, with yet no heat. And then again, a sack of wool." End of quote. Remind you of anything?
Mm-hmm.
Care to share?
I'm trying to remember what story that is. I feel like I read this in like a young adult fantasy novel from the 90s.
Yes. You didn't actually read it.
Me?
I read it and told you all about it.
What?
It was a book club episode.
No, I know. What the fuck is it called? Tamlin.
Yes, Tamlin.
I don't remember that happening in the Tamlin story, though.
Yes, that's a huge part of the story.
Well, shucks.
Yeah, very Tamlin. But Jamie held on as he ran. When he was close to the door, a tiny elf woman, the smallest of the party, cried out, "Jamie Freel has got her away from us, but he won't have any good of her, for I'll make her deaf and dumb." And then she threw something over the young girl. Deaf and dumb powder.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Dumb means she won't be able to speak. The little folk rode off in disappointment, and Jamie was finally able to lift the latch on the door and go inside. His mother rushed him immediately and was like, "Where have you been all night? What have they done to you?" And he was like, "Oh no, nothing bad happened. It was actually really fun. I had like the best of luck." And he said, "Here's a beautiful young lady I've brought you for company." Which is, yeah.
What?
That's the old, "I kidnapped this woman for you, Mom. Not for me. Never for me. What would I even want with a pretty lady? A young lady? Gross. No, you want a pretty lady to live with." You're always saying that, right? You said, like, "I want a pretty lady and I brought it for you."
And you're welcome.
Are you buying this? His mother was horrified. She was like, "Oh my God, you kidnapped a woman? A whole ass woman?" No. He was like, "No, let me tell you all about my adventure." So he told her all about it. And he was like, the little people were taking her to no doubt do awful things to her. So like, I saved her. He said, quote, "Surely you wouldn't have allowed me to let her gang with them to be lost forever." And his mother said, quote, "But a lady, Jamie. How can a lady eat our poor diet and live in our poor way? I ask you that, you foolish fellow." And he was like, well, it's better here than in the abandoned castle with all the fairies. You don't seem to know the difference between us and them. I feel like we're better. No? He's not wrong. He's not wrong. We've heard some really scary stories about women being taken away by fairies. As they argued, quote, the deaf and dumb girl shivered in her light clothing, stepping close to the humble turf fire. And his mother, like, looked at her with pity, and she said, poor creature, she's queer and handsome, which, like, good for her.
Same.
No wonder they set their hearts on her. The old woman decided that no matter what they decided to do with her, they had to dress her first. She's like, okay, well, civility first. She's cold, she's in her underwear.
Yeah.
But of course, what could they possibly dress her in that would be fine enough for such a lady? Mrs. Freel went to her room, and she dug out her brown Sunday gown. She opened a drawer and pulled out a pair of white stockings, a long snowy garment of fine linen, and a cap. She called this her dead dress. I can only guess this is the outfit she wants to be buried in.
Yeah.
That's what I think that is.
For sure.
Do you have an outfit you want to be buried in?
Not jeans.
Can you put me in my fun dress I'm wearing for my brother's wedding so I look like a fairy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. Or I guess sell it. I don't care.
I don't have the time or energy for that.
Okay.
It's going with you.
Bury me in my fun dress. And you want jeans?
No, no jeans.
You want denim on denim? You want to look like Justin and Brittany at the VMAs?
No.
Okay. Feels weird.
Honestly, bury me in my pajamas. Big t-shirt.
Yeah.
Short shorts.
Good.
No bra.
No bra.
There you go. It's the way to go.
We have a mix-up. You're only wearing like 11 wire bras.
No.
Okay.
I'll haunt you. I'll haunt you so bad. You let that happen.
Good. Hang out with me. Okay. Even though his mother rarely wore these things because they were so fancy, she gave it to their beautiful visitor, quote, who was turning in dumb sorrow and wonder from her to Jamie and from Jamie back to her. She's probably thinking like, why can't I hear or speak?
Mm-hmm.
What happened?
Yeah.
She allowed herself to be dressed, and then she sat down in the chimney corner and buried her face in her hands.
Oh.
I know. The old woman asked Jamie how they were going to keep a lady like this. Jamie told her that he was like, I'm going to work for you both. Don't worry. I will make it work. And she said, and how can a lady live on our poor diet? And he said, I'll work for her. I'll make it work. She's our lady. I say we can keep her.
I'll change her papers and everything.
Yeah, I'll take her for little walks. I'll do it.
Train her to sit.
Yeah, I'll give her little treats.
Yeah.
She'll love it. Ladies love little treats.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd sit for a couple treats. I love sitting. And treats.
You know what?
Yeah. Right? And Jamie kept his word. The young lady was very sad for a long time, and she cried every night as Jamie's mom spun by the fire, and Jamie made salmon nets, which he learned how to do in hopes that he could make more money to support his guests. He was like, I need another job.
Oh.
Quote, but she was always gentle and tried to smile when she perceived them looking at her. Little by little, she settled into this life. Quote, it was not very long before she began to feed the pig mashed potatoes and meal for the fowls and knit blue worsted socks. A whole year passed like this, right? She was finally kind of getting used to this life. She was very sweet and just like doing as much work as she could because she's like, I guess I'm here. Mm-hmm. I don't know what happened, but they're very nice to me, so I guess I'll help them out. And finally, Halloween came around again, and Jamie pulled on his hat and told his mother, okay, I'm off to the old castle to seek my fortune. And his mom was like, ah, you idiot. Are you mad, Jamie? Surely they'll kill you this time for what you did to them last year. And Jamie shook his head and was like, you sound crazy. And then he left.
Why would they be mad at me?
I didn't do anything to them. Nothing. I'm Jamie Freel. Welcome.
Welcome.
He got a real big head from the last 3 years. When he reached the crabtree grove, bathed in golden light, little crabs, he started tiptoeing very quietly. He made it to one of the windows and listened to what the fairies were saying. And one of them said, that was a poor trick Jamie Freel played us this night last year when he stole the nice young lady from us.
The nice young lady that we had rightfully stolen.
Because, like Jack, he had the best of luck. Mm-hmm. The little person was talking to the tiny woman who had made her deaf and dumb. And she responded, aye, and I punished him for it, for there she sits, a dumb image by his hearth. But he doesn't know that 3 drops out of this glass I hold in my hand would give her her hearing and her speeches back again.
Her speeches?
Her speeches. So Jamie entered the hall, heart pounding in his chest. He was greeted by a chorus of welcomes. He was like, oh, thank God. And all the little people said, here comes Jamie Freel. Welcome. Welcome, Jamie. I guess. He didn't say that last part.
You brigand!
Welcome. The little woman walked right up to him and she said, you be to drink our health, Jamie, out of this glass in my hand. She's like, drink it all, Jamie. You'll love it. I'm sure it's going to do something weird to him.
Yeah.
When she offered him the glass, he snatched it and he darted to the door. Quote, he never knew how he reached his cabin, but he arrived there breathless and sank on a stove by the fire. His mother shook her head and told him, they're gonna fucking kill you, Jamie. What the fuck? But he shook his head and grinned at her, and he held up the glass. He said, actually, I had even better luck this time. I can't believe I'm so lucky. Maybe I can never die. Who knows? He gave the lady 3 drops of the liquid that remained at the bottom of the glass, because the story says he spilled a lot of it while he was running through the potato field. Well, he was like trying. I'm sure he's like holding the top of it, just like sloshing through his fingers. Right into the potato field.
No. What do you think it would do to Jamie if he drank it?
Well, she only got 3 drops. Mm-hmm. And it was a very exact dose. Mm-hmm. I'm sure drinking the whole thing would be like the difference between like drinking Visine. Like if you have like 1 or 2 drops, it will make you shit your pants. But like if you have a whole thing, it'll kill you and you'll be on a true crime podcast. I just listened to an episode about that.
I was trying to think of what would happen to Jamie and...
Super hearing.
No, my brain created a phrase that I've never heard or used before.
Ooh, okay.
It struck fear into my heart. I was like,
yes.
Oh, if he drinks that, he's going to get the spooky poopies. What the fuck is the spooky poopy?
There is a saying called spooky dookie.
No.
And it means spooky
very
poopies.
different. Very different. Are you going to give Jamie the spooky poopies?
Yeah, it probably would have given him the spooky poopies.
I'm 6.
That's exactly what it would do to him. So you were right. Once she had drank the 3 drops, the lady began to speak. Her first words were to thank Jamie for all he had done for her. The 3 people talked to each other all night, until long after the cockcrow, when the fair music had quite ceased. That was a quote. I didn't write that. Finally, she was like, hey, Jamie, can you bring me paper and pen and ink? I need to write to my dad. Tell him what happened. I don't know if it also took... maybe she just couldn't ask for it, but after a year, wouldn't you find pen and ink? Wouldn't you be like charading it?
Yes.
Charading it? Yeah.
Yes, you would.
So maybe she couldn't write. I'm going to guess that like maybe that was also part of the curse, is she couldn't communicate. Anyway, she wrote, but weeks passed and she never received an answer. So she wrote again, and then again, and then again, and she never received an answer back. And she was like, what the fuck is happening? Like, my parents would come and get me. So finally, she asked Jamie to go with her to Dublin to see her father. And he protested. He was like, we don't have a car. We have no money to hire a car. How are we going to get there on foot? She begged and she pleaded and she just like cried. She's like, please, I have to go home. You don't understand. I cannot just stay here. That's just not how it works. And so finally he agreed to walk her all the way from Thanet to Dublin, which is 4,507 miles.
What?
Which would take about 1,500 hours on foot, which would be about 3 months walking.
And that's walking straight through.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, if that's not sleeping.
No, I actually count. I did calculate in 8 hours of sleep each night.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so much.
It was, quote, it was not as easy as the ferry journey, but at last they rang the bell at the door of the house in Stephen's Green. It was not as easy. They did that in one night.
Yeah.
The pretty lady told the servant who answered the door to tell her father that his daughter was there. But the servant answered, the gentleman that lives here has no daughter, my girl. He had one, but she died a year ago. The girl was shocked. She said, do you not know me, Sullivan? And the servant answered, no, poor girl, I do not. At this point, she begged the servant to go get her father. If he could just see her, he'd recognize her as his daughter. And the servant was like, I guess it couldn't hurt to ask. So he went in and he told the man of the house. When her father came to the door, she said, dear father, don't you know me? And he cried angrily, how dare you call me father? You are an imposter. I have no daughter. And she told him to look at her face, to really look, and she just begged him to remember her. But he said, my daughter is dead and buried. She died a long, long time ago. And his voice broke, and he told her to go. She held up her hand, on which she wore a pretty ring. She sobbed and said, stop, dear father, till you look at this ring on my finger. Look at your name and mine engraved on it. And he told her that, yes, that was his daughter's ring, but he had no idea how she had gotten a hold of it, and he accused her of stealing. At this point, she begged him to call her mother. Her mother would know her, and the man answered, "My poor wife is beginning to forget her sorrow. She seldom speaks of her daughter now. Why should I renew her grief by reminding her of her loss?" And the young lady was so insistent, she just cried and begged him and just like got on her knees. She's like, "Please get my mom. Please get her. She will recognize me." And so finally he relented because he was like, "This is so fucking weird." Her mother was sent for, and when she came to the door, the young lady cried, "Don't you know your daughter?" And the mother shook her head and said, "I have no daughter. My daughter died and was buried a long, long time ago." And the girl begged her to look at her face, to look in her face and know her. And the lady shook her head, but the girl said, "You've all forgotten me, but look at this mole on my neck. Surely, mother, you know me now." And her mother said, Yes, my Gracie had a mole on her neck like that, but then I saw her in her coffin, and I saw the lid shut down on her." At this point, Jamie decided to speak up. He was like, "If I may." I think I can actually explain this. You're going to think this is so funny. We're all going to laugh at this one day. She was kidnapped by fairies, and I know because I was there. Let me start at the beginning. My name is Jamie Freel. Welcome.
Welcome. I was with some fairies, and then they came and kidnapped her, and I was with them. The end. Actually, that wasn't really that long of a story, I guess.
I really made that a lot longer. Didn't need to. Also, your name is Gracie? Wild.
I thought it was
Pretty Lady.
Pleasance.
That's a good name for her. Okay, so he told them all about the fairy journey and how he had watched the young lady get stolen and how a false figure was put in her place. And he's like, "That's the one that died. It wasn't her. This is the real girl." He told them how he and his mother had cared for her for a full year until he was able to get the 3 drops to end her enchantment. And at this point, he paused because he was like, "What do I say now? This is all really weird." And then Gracie took up the story. She told her parents how wonderful Jamie and his mother had been to her and how much she had grown to love them. And her parents finally believed them, and they couldn't make enough of Jamie. They treated him with every distinction. They were so grateful that he had saved their daughter from the fairies. And when he told them at one point, he was like, "Okay, well, I actually have to return home to Fanet because my poor mother is there all by herself, and I'm the one that takes care of her. And we've been walking for 3 months. And if I'm going to have to walk back, I need to start now." So they were like, "We don't know how to show you our gratitude. Like, we can't just let you leave. We have to, do something for you." Quote, "But an awkward complication arose. The daughter would not let him go without her. She told them, 'If Jamie goes, I'll go too.' She reminded them that if he hadn't pulled her off the fairy horse and brought her home, they would have never seen her again. So she's like, 'I'm not leaving his side. So figure out how you're going to say thank you. Otherwise, I'm leaving.' And so her father was like, 'Okay, if that's the case, then Jamie should become our son-in-law.' They sent for his mother and Fanet in a coach and 4, and they had a beautiful wedding. And the last line of the story is, quote, "They all lived together in the grand Dublin house, and Jamie was heir to untold wealth at his father-in-law's death." End quote. The end. Yeah. What do you think?
Kind of an unusual meet cute.
Okay, so do you blame Jamie for her kidnapping?
I think that she would have been kidnapped either way.
She would have.
I do kind of blame him for not bringing her back to her family way earlier.
Okay, here's my thing for that. Because I don't think that Jamie was like, "Let's go kidnap a pretty lady." I think he heard, "They're going to go kidnap a pretty lady." And he's like, "I better go along." This is a weird thing. I don't think he was like, "I can't wait to get this pretty lady for myself." Because also the story does not make any mention of him making any moves on her, or even when he's arguing with his mother about keeping her, he's not like, "I need this pretty lady here." He was just like, "We can't send her anywhere else, and also now she can't hear or speak and she's been cursed by the fairies, we can't just send her out," which also makes me think that he had no idea how to get back to her house since they flew on horses, so they knew Dublin, but they didn't know anything else about where she lived.
But if he brought her to Dublin,
but he couldn't afford it either. I mean, look, he couldn't. I also don't know if he was willing to walk 3 months on foot with this girl because they couldn't afford a car or anything like that.
Yeah.
So I don't think that he really had a way. I also think that he wasn't going to bring her back at all. She really had to be like, "No, I'm willing to do the walk." She had to convince him that she was fine to walk.
Yeah.
That's a long fucking way. That's 3 months of walking.
Yeah.
You know?
It's a very long walk.
I don't hold any of this against Jamie. I think that he was upset. At first, I was like, I mean, this frat boy just went out and kidnapped a woman and was like, mine. But it doesn't really feel like that to me. Feels like he had pretty good intentions.
I feel like if I was her parents, I would have hesitations.
More questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I guess that's what it comes down to is I just don't, the story alone, I'm like, I don't trust that. That seems nefarious.
I think also, though, the fact that they were so hesitant because they actually buried their daughter, like they saw her corpse, is really jarring.
Yeah. I also feel like, though, they would, like, that's kind of my other problem with this, is that even if you have, like, buried your daughter, you saw her, she was dead and everything, if your daughter shows up, you're not like, you're not my daughter, you're just some clever imposter. You're like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah. Okay, the fact that none of them recognized her does make me wonder if there was some lasting enchantments on her.
I was thinking
the
of
servant
that
said,
like,
the servant wasn't like, oh my god, you look just like her. The servant was like, no, I don't know you. You know?
I was thinking maybe it was because she had spent a year working.
Yeah,
and
maybe
then
she
3
looked
months
a little
walking.
different.
But still, you would be like, that's, I don't know.
You know, I actually don't know, because there is a true crime case of a boy who went missing, and they think that he had, like, some mental health problems and, like, walked away one day and they couldn't find him. And then years and years later, there was a woman who reached out and was like, hey, I actually took in this homeless kid. Like, he was like 19. She's like, I took him in like 3 years ago and sent him to New York. Like, he wanted to leave. She's like, he was so sweet, but like clearly he didn't have any memory of where he was. And his parents looked at pictures of him and were like, that could be him. We don't know. Like, it had been so long. They had no idea. They were like, I think that could be him. Like, they just couldn't tell. And then it ended up not being him. And that was the saddest thing. But also, they couldn't really recognize him either way. You know, like.
But that's also, I mean, that's like a kid versus a 19-year-old.
No, he was like 19 when he went missing. So like, it was like 21 at the time when he went there.
Oh,
you know?
okay. Well, then that's weird. But
I'm just saying, like, a year could do a lot, I guess.
Yeah.
Also, your brain can really trick you either way, I think. I think if you're in like a lot of grief, either you're more likely to be like, that is my kid, and that's him, you know, like, you're just like so wanting to believe it so badly, or you've seen the body, you've already come to terms with it, you're more likely to be like, absolutely not, I will not be tricked. Yeah,
I liked it.
Who knows? I thought that was interesting. I was very sad about her parents.
Yes,
they broke my heart a little.
Yes.
And I love all the fairies. I like that they all repeated themselves constantly. Welcome, it's Dublin. Wow. Deary, wow. Janey, Steery. They made me laugh.
Very cute.
Yeah.
Some little guys.
William Butler Yeats. You can find that story in Fairy and Folk Tales of the Irish Peasantry by W.B. Yeats. I can't say his name.
W.B. Yeats.
W.B. Yeats. W.B. Frog.
Okay. Wow. That's the WB cat.
All right, Max. Well, that's episode 154.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah. This is coming out. Oh, Francis. This is coming out on March 27th. So we hope you are enjoying the end of your March, and we will see you in 2 weeks with another tale.
Goodbye.
Nope. Join us on Instagram. That's Sort of the Story.
This is why I never do it.
TikTok at Sort of the Story. You can email us at sortofthestory@gmail.com. You can go to our website for a full list of our sources and to see everything that we do and find stories. I don't know. Go to our website. It's www.sortofthestory.com. You can join our Patreon and get access to our Discord for $3 a month, or get access to the Discord and the bonus episodes for $7 a month, which is a fucking steal. You're stealing from us.
Get back here, you thieves.
Oh, you thieves.
You brigands.
Yeah, all of that and more. And please rate us 5 stars on Apple Podcasts. Leave a fun little review.
Tell your friends.
Tell your friends about us. Come hang out with us. And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Goodbye.
Bye.
Okay, testing.
Testing.
You want to pull a card?
Okay. Let's pull a little fuckerino here. Level 2. Is there a feeling you miss?
Yeah. What about you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I miss being a little kid in the forest. It's a very specific feeling
Yeah.
that I would like to have again.
Yeah, that's very fun. I miss, this is specifically with dating and specifically with like internet dating.
Mm-hmm.
I miss the feeling of a boy feeling you up and then knowing it's going to go nowhere else. Just being like, this is the most exciting thing that's going to happen on this date. It's that he's going to feel a boob. Oh my God.
Oh my God.
Yeah, no, I don't get that anymore because everyone's like, we're adults, we can just have sex. And it's like, oh, I guess.
You don't even want to paw these things for a little bit?
You know, they're here. They're neglected, frankly.
Yeah, bring back bases for adults.
Bring back bases. I miss the bases, I guess. Yeah. I miss how exciting the bases were.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Now it's just, we don't have to play baseball. We're adults. Let's just fuck. It's no fun. Uh-oh.
Whoopsies.